have a report with you on finished product, and so what I'll have in the presentation is just some highlights.
Maybe the laptop needs to be open. There we go.
Good. Good to go. There we go. Good. All right, good. Thank you again. For the last 9 to 10 months, we've been working on this demographic study. We've analyzed many different areas in your school district. As Dr. Young said, one thing about Wentzville has been incredible growth. Where it started in 1986, where it is today, just phenomenal growth. In fact, this is a growth that would probably rival just about everywhere in the United States. There are very few places in the Midwest that grow this quickly. I'm convinced that Wentzville is the fastest growing school district in the state. One of the key elements I'd like to call your attention to in the report is that 8 out of 13 schools right now are over capacity, what the desired capacity level is. This is a serious issue. So I've got to tell you that not many districts I work in have those kind of percentages. You're at Crossroads, 118% above capacity. Here's the capacity that we're looking at. The way we figure that, we take the desired class size based on the state of Missouri levels. We count how many educational classrooms there are, multiply that out, that's where our capacity level is. Here's what the current enrollment is. This is an issue. I'd like to bring your attention. Now, these room counts do not include science rooms. They don't include rooms for special education, library, art, music. These are just educational classrooms where students sit at desks that are not special use, which is a fairly standard definition I use in many other schools around the state. So here you have 8 out of 13 schools that are over capacity. So I tell you, this is an issue that needs to be looked at, and it's very serious. Anytime you reach these kind of levels, especially for elementary grades, I think you're going to really have to be concerned about the ability for students to learn. Now, the solution to this is maybe you've got some capacity here in the middle schools that you can bump some of the 5th graders up, but that's not a desirable choice either. So, in any case, this is clearly a problem. The birth rate is a strong predictor of your first grade enrollment, but that's not all I can predict. For this year, for first grade, the way you read this is to look at the number of births in the Wentzville zip codes, and projected as just 6 years later after the fact. So for this year, we only missed it by 2 students. This is a good, strong predictor. But you're not going to be relief in this first grade until probably 2011, because that's when the birth rate has dropped. I don't have the birth rate yet for 2006 yet from the state. So from the short term, you're going to continue to grow. What we see among the students that are registered just between January and June, the new students that came in during the winter months, is that most of them live in single-family homes, 72%, and we were able to match their addresses. This is a very high percentage, but you also got a growing percentage that are now living in multifamily. That's a growing percentage, and it looks like it's increasing quite a bit. So that's an issue that you also need to pay attention to. As multifamilies increase, you're going to have increased enrollment from there. It hasn't occurred just yet. If you look at your growth, just based on a short-term regression analysis since 2003, this is what you'd be looking at. About 12,269 this time next year. This model tends to predict on the high side about 3%. I've got another couple of models in the report there on the little lower side. So, and also in your report, we've got probably about 4 or 5 different projection types. But this is just a straight linear regression. Here's the way your students are distributed across the school district. Not anywhere near uniform. Got a high concentration here on the eastern side, very sparse out here on the western side. These are all the students from last year's enrollment that have been geocoded within about 25 feet of accuracy. It's 100% of your enrollment. If we look also at students, that we were able to match the students to the parcels, the county, took the addresses, matched them out to the values. Here's the averages, what we see. The average Wentzville student lives in a house that's $206,000. Average lot just under an acre, age of about 12 years. You're not seeing a whole lot of students coming to the new housing. Your real growth is happening from existing housing sales. And right now, your housing sales have gone down quite a bit. So that's why the model I put the most credence in is that the enrollment's not going to grow as quickly as it has in years past, because house sales have slowed. Now, the interest rate drops, maybe another quarter or 0.5%, you can see that pick up, and then your dynamics have changed. Look at the housing units that have been approved, not yet occupied across the district. And here again, the interest rate is really put a damper on growth in buildings, so there hasn't been a lot of movement in these since May. But you've still got a huge number of housings down here that's open that can happen. These are all a number of housing units, multifamily and single family. It shows a little bit clearer. It just shows the actual units. There's still some very big units to come in here. If you look at the number of students that have moved to the school district since June 1st, as of last week, this is around 95% accurate to the address, a perfect match. You've got really about 3 concentrations where the new students are moving into. Right here, right there, and there's a little pocket there. Hardly any happening over here elsewhere in the district. Right here, there. Here again, that's your existing, more stable housing. It's where the students are moving into and out of. It's not the new homes. I think this is my last slide. We're looking at this is the latest demographic data that I can buy, where they predict the growth of the population for 2011. And it says 2,000 to 3,000 additional persons right here. That's your hot spot. And that's basically the far eastern side of your district. And it gets, of course, more sparse as you go west. A real hot spot right there. So that's what all the demographic models will show. We looked at data from about 3 or 4 different sources in that report, and they all point to right here. So that's all that I have for the highlights. You got the report, but I'm sorry I couldn't get that to you sooner. We have updated about 25% of the report in just about the last 10 days. So we had a lot of work to do, and just couldn't get to you quicker. So any questions?
This is a PDF for?
Certainly. I want to give Dr. Elms a PDF. They'll have it there, and also they'll have all the illustrations in the entire report. So you'll have the whole wall of wax there, everything.
Preston, we're going to talk about future growth and bond issues in just a moment. If you could stay with us, there might be questions that would come about that would relate to growth in the student population. You might, even though you not get questions now, you might in just a moment.
Well, thank you, Dr. Elms.